Hello and welcome. So today I've got Tony Mason with me. Now, Tony, I've known for a long time and he's been around longer than me, I'm pretty sure. So, Tony, do you want to tell people a little bit about yourself, your background, where you came from, what's brought you to this point?
Yeah, first of all, Matt, thanks for the interview. You know, it means a lot coming from someone like yourself who's achieved so much in the number of years that I've known you. I've seen you come from a doorman, working as a head doorman, as a manager, and now seen your progression into what you're doing now. I mean, it's fantastic. And for you to actually come to me, well, not come to me, but interview me as well, um, watching me coming up at a later age, slowly behind is an honor. I mean, like yourself, I started off as primarily a doorman, a security man, a martial artist. Always for 45 years since 1980, I've been training in Kyokushin. I've got numerous black belts. I won't go into too many detail of that, but I sort of come through, watched everybody with their own take on it. Geoff Thompson, I've trained with Kevin O'Hagan. I'm aware, I'm trained in, I know you yourself. I know I've trained with a lot of the top guys in the UK. And now I've got to a stage where I've reopened my class and I'm looking at a different angle on bringing in my take on it all, really. There are
Yeah,
some really good self-protection guys out there at the moment. Yourself, there's Lucky, there's loads within the Kazan. There's also Lee Morrison, particularly. I've noticed Lee's stuff is. I look at that and I get inspired again because it's come on from Geoff Thompson's initial start, hasn't it, Matt? Do you think?
yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. So, firstly, thank you for the lovely, kind words. I appreciate it. But I
No.
think you're doing yourself a disservice there, my friend. You've been around a very long time. You're very experienced. You've trained with top level guys. You've worked in the real world for a long time, and you've got a great deal of knowledge and authority to bring to the table yourself. So it's about time you had the spotlight a little bit, I believe. Um,
Oh, thank you.
so when we're sort of talking about that, then, because we let's go back if you don't mind. And you said that you started out in Kyokushin.
Yeah, I got black belt in Kyokushin. I had a number of clubs in Kyokushin. I'm still in Kyokushin, if you like. I bounce in and out. So I've been in Kyokushin 45 years. It's my go-to place when I want to go and train and have a good hard session still. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Well, that's really where I was leading to with that, because for those that aren't familiar, there are different types of karate, and Kyokushin is one of the toughest. For people that say, karate is fake or isn't real or anything like that, I suggest go find a Kyokushin club and see what you think afterwards. Um,
yeah.
so would you say that traditional route in was the basis and a really solid foundation for things to come? Um, would you say that's what set you on the right path?
Yeah, mate. To go back, in all fairness, I was a bit of I won't go too much. I was a bit of a naughty boy, as we all were when we were kids. I left school. I got in and getting in trouble. I'm ending up. I've practically gone to Borstal for 9 months. I've had it. I've had the medical. I've got not been sent because of my mother. And all of a sudden, one day I went and watched my brother doing Kyokushin. Um, and I looked at it and I could see the guys. It was a lot of old days, like you'll know. A lot of them were doormen, the older guys. A lot of them, they were all what they call proper tough guys. And I thought, I want a piece of this. So I went in and, you just got thrashed around for a few months and it changed my attitude and gave me a discipline. I thought, I want to learn this. I would love to teach it one day. And I think the martial arts really turned me from possibly a bad path into where I am now, I suppose, at 63. I mean, I'm still training and still pushing forward, and probably to a lot, I'm an old man, Matt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, none of us are getting any younger, my friend, and I'll get to that in a bit if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Um, but the reason that we sort of came to know one another was essentially in relation to the security and the door work. That was the sort of start point for that, and I wanted to sort of ask you a question because it's a bit of a contentious one in the martial arts world, and that is, how important do you think it is to have real world experience, be that security, be that military, whatever it might be, How important do you think that is when you're presenting yourself as a instructor of reality martial arts, self-defense kind of stuff?
I think, yeah, like yourself, you probably agree because you're multi-skilled, as I say, and there's a place for everything, isn't there? For instance, when I'm taking the children in kickboxing, I'll keep it low key and I'm teaching children karate or kickboxing. But when you're teaching the real world stuff, then I see a lot of these self-defense classes, and they're showing you techniques, not principles, just techniques, moves. But you know, and I know that experience out on that door when somebody 6'3", considering I'm only just 5'7", is screaming and shouting and the terror that goes through your body. But you, in a split second, I know now that fear, I can turn that fear into defense, and I know exactly how to attack that person, if you get me. It's okay getting someone to stand there throwing techniques at the fresh air. But what I'm saying is you have to be able to get your training to like leaders, really, with the context of you're actually hitting this guy. And what if it's actually not doing nothing? Where are we going? And you're thinking very quickly. I think the experience that us guys bring is probably second to none, because we can tell them, you have to be aware of what, if you're going to hit me, it's not going to work. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense, Matt, really?
Yeah, it kind of does. I mean, for me, one of the things I think that's very underrated about the job role is there's a very real element of being able to think on your feet and problem solve in the moment.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think is something a lot of people who've never really done the job for any length of time don't appreciate about it. And there's also the main factor for me is having an understanding of what real aggression feels and looks like.
Yeah.
Because it's different and it does different things to the mind. And so you've now started teaching again, and you've now started classes. Where are your classes?
We're in Mountain Ash, in not far from Cardiff, really, about 9 miles from Cardiff. And I'm teaching a bit of everything at the minute, but primarily my complete combatives, as I call it, is based on the self-protection and putting back what you just said, but there is how it's the mindset as well as the training, isn't it? You have to give them.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So that's what I was going to say. So you started teaching again now after a little sort of hiatus and a break. You've mentioned your age, which is, I think, as we get older, we appreciate economy of movement, good technique. We appreciate a lot of things more than maybe we would have done when we were younger. So you're focused then. You said you've got kickboxing for kids, and then you've got your combative stuff for adults. And so you're offering a range of things at the moment, because again, you recently graded as a boxing coach, I believe.
Yeah, I went up to the Red Corner gym with Greg up there, one of Geoff Thompson's old friends. I've got an association with the Red Corner gym through the British Combat with Matty and Tony Summers, names probably you know really well. And I spoke to him on the phone, and I went back up and finished what I started many years ago. So now I can call myself a boxing coach, which is good. As he said, I have developed my own style over the years. So it was difficult to do the course with my own, I had to. It was very difficult to get through. Actually, it was a 6-hour course, and if knowing Glenn doesn't give nothing away, he's a well-known professional coach, and it took a lot out of me, but we got there. He tried to curb a few of my bad habits and stuff, which he's as good as gold. Yeah, there is a lot to offer with us, but primarily I'm after the guy in the street who's not the MMA. Everyone wants to do MMA. MMA is great for the youngsters. Everything has got its place, and I'm primarily after the person that wants to protect themselves in the street. They can have that explosive 20, 30 seconds of pure hatred, aggression to protect themselves. Violence, if you like, then if that's what it takes to protect yourself, I'm still an advocate of that. Although I will be teaching the door supervision, physical intervention, and the close protection intervention shortly, there is a place for both, isn't there, Matt?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're all valid skills, and again, the person that wants to train martial arts for fitness and friendship and community and all of those things, they don't necessarily want the same training as a high-end MMA sport fighter, or even a person working in environments where confrontation and aggression is the norm. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? We all want different things from our training, and that's how it should be. So moving on from that, one of the questions that comes to mind, again, this is more into the things that I'm enjoying playing with at the moment, and that is, as we go forward now, you've talked about your physical skills, of which there are many and well deserved, and you've spent a lifetime building those up. But we're now in a world where the social media sensei is big. You've got more and more people coming through that are very marketing savvy, that are very capable with technology and how to present in the modern world today, reaching bigger and bigger audiences. Now, if you don't mind me saying so, because you did mention your age there, as somebody who isn't in that first flush of youth and didn't grow up with technology, how are you finding that in regards to your own school, your own teaching, your own training?
Very, very difficult, because as you know, I've started a training company as well with the SAA, but that's a different thing. And this is where it's come up as well, is my marketing skills are still very localized. I'm not globalized, if that makes sense, you know. I'm still in, we'll put a poster up. And I think a lot of us are of my age. We'll put a poster up, we'll put an advert in the paper. It's not the way anymore, Matt, is it? It's, you need to spread it everywhere. As you've written your books. Your books are which if you look on my links, guys, if you watch this and you look at my pages, Matt will send me a link for the books. You can have a look a bit about what Matt writes as well and what he's about. You'll see that Matt has gone totally globalized now, Matt, haven't you? Does that make sense? I'm still
thank you for that, by the way. It's one of those where I found many years ago that it was a necessary thing to understand as somebody that runs a club and a full-time place. You have to wear many hats, and being honest, I was failing dismally. I mean, I'm totally confident in my ability on the mats. I'm totally confident in my knowledge and being able to give that to the students. But I was failing absolutely miserably at everything else, at marketing, at the business itself, at running a club successfully, doing all of those things, terrible. So I had to sort of learn, and that's been the journey that I and a lot of others are on, because I think, and this I do think from the heart, I genuinely mean this, I believe that proper martial arts teachers, I mean, the real deal, the people that have been in it for a lifetime and have learned those skills, should not be falling by the wayside because they can't keep up with technology. And I think it's really important that we don't lose those people and that knowledge, because we're in real danger of losing a lot of what martial arts stands for and the depth of martial arts. So I think it's one of those that's really important that people try to keep up and catch up, which is what you're trying to do. So you're having a go at the moment with some short form video, with some stuff on social media and things. And how are you finding that? Are you getting a response from that?
Yeah, I did notice the other day, I put a couple, as you noticed, I made a couple of videos. Me and the wife made a couple of videos just to see. I obviously, you can't hear me half the time, and I'm looking at faults. But through a couple of these videos, and I added a bit of music, which was a skill I saw as a button on Facebook. I thought I was it then, so I added a bit of music to this, and I'm feeling clever. And I've had three messages this week of people just watching the videos, and I thought, oh, hang on, if this can reach 3 people with absolute rubbish content, then what could we do with a bit of thought? You know what I mean? That makes sense.
Well, it's clearly not rubbish if it's drawing people towards you, is it? So, but that's great. I mean, having three sort of people come forward just off the back of that is fantastic. So it's a great start, isn't it? Now, so when you look at you and your history and where you've come from and everything, how do you see yourself going into the future now? At 62, you must, I'm sure, have to modify your training and how much time and effort you can give to it.
63, yeah, you hit a good nail on the head now. I mean, I'm still a sucker for fitness, but I geared it now so as I only train for what did you call? I train for what I need. So what I'll do is I'll go to the gym. I won't spend hours on a punch bag. I'll do 2-3 rounds on it. I'll do 10 rounds of shadow boxing for me. I'll do a BJJ mix up on the floor. I find then that fitness gives me enough when I'm in work, because I still work frontline. I still got that sharpness, speed, strength. I try not to. I do spar a bit. I mean, to give you an example, I went up to Simon Morales to help with the grading, black belt Krav Maga grading for him. I went up to spar with the guy going for the black belt, and not realizing when I got up there was the only one to spar, so I had to do the 5 rounds, right? But I got in there. Yeah, I wasn't doing well in the last 2 rounds. The first 2 or 3 rounds I did all right, which said in my mind, I've still got it if I need it. But to be honest with you, I was tired, and I realized my training now needs to be short, sharp, and to the point, with no, for my personal training, you know. I'm training my guys. I still teach a bit of karate, but I've adapted every block and everything to my self-protection and my kickboxing. So I've changed the Kyokushin techniques, not that much. And I still basically use this Kyokushin syllabus with the way I've adapted it. But everything's got with me, it's got to be functional, Matt. Do you know what I mean? I've done 10 years, 12 years of BJJ in and out. I'm not the best. I'm not the worst, but I know enough to teach applied grappling, if that makes sense. So, and with the Russell Stutley stuff as well, the pressure point tactic instructor with him, I'll qualify as an international one shortly. A lot of people run that down. It does work if you know how to make it work. Do you know what I mean? I can make some of it work, and some of it I find doesn't work, but you just got to plug away if you're interested, haven't you, I suppose?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's the thing as well, is the realization that unfortunately there's only so many hours in the day, there's only so much your body can tolerate, so there's only so much you can put towards training, and so it's choosing the things that work for you and you're interested in. Now, if you take, as you said, the pressure point stuff, now, just because I can't get something to work doesn't mean it doesn't work. And that's the way that I look at it. And I find these things fascinating. Like yourself, I mess with the ground game, I mess with grappling. It's not my first love. I'm a striker predominantly, but I'm very much aware that my knowledge of grappling is limited in comparison with people who are expert at it. So for me to say that won't work is a bit ludicrous, really, because I haven't given it a lifetime dedication. So somebody like Russell clearly has, you know, and yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, how all these things come together. I mean, that's one of the great things about martial arts, is the fact that there is a lid for every pot, if you like, and whatever sort of flavor you want to train, that's possible, and that's a reality, and you can sort of make that happen. So remind us again, how can you be contacted then for people that are interested and want to know more about you? How can they reach out?
Facebook page is Complete Combatives, and the email address is tmss56@outlook.com, and that is basically it. The Facebook page, and at the minute is basically that's it, Matt. I mean, there is a way to go with different things. I mean, at the minute I've got a choice of more nights in the hall. I can use more nights if I've got a few more guys training, you know. The key ones I've got, for instance, I've got my little granddaughter who's 7, who doesn't want to fight. Now, my angle on her, getting her to train, is I said, well, come and learn kata. So she came and learned kata, and the next thing she's sparring. I said, oh, you like sparring? Yeah, I like sparring, but I don't like fighting. So I'll gear it to how, and now she's roped in, little Ellie. And then you've got my grandson who wants to learn how to fight, but I've got him, yeah, we'll not be nasty. We'll learn how to fight, but we're going to be, just in case we need it. So we'll gear it for what the individual wants, you know what I mean? Whether it's fitness, self-defense, or primarily what I call a level 10 stuff, which is you don't obviously teach the level 10 stuff to everybody, do you? You know what you mean yourself. There's a level you go up, which is for military. I'm also Krav Maga, black belt, 3rd dan. So there is stuff that you wouldn't really teach the average a child or youngster, would you, or even the average guy. I'm very careful who I teach some of my stuff too. Does that make sense?
Oh, no, that absolutely makes sense. And I think, again, that's a very real sort of issue and talking point in the current world, where if you go back sort of 30 years, then you didn't really get taught the good stuff for quite a while. You had to hang around for a bit. You had to go through the the levels. You had to prove that you weren't an asshole, to put it bluntly, before people would start showing you the good stuff. The thing is now in the modern world is that you can walk into a gym almost anywhere in the country and start learning things that can really hurt people. And I'm not sure that that's necessarily a good thing myself. So all that being said, it's fantastic that you're back out teaching. You know, in my mind, you should never have stopped. You've got a great deal of knowledge, and it should be shared with the world. Great that you got the classes going on again. And you mentioned a training company as well. You're teaching security courses, things like that.
We have MAS Training, mastraininglimited.com, which is now a training company. At the minute, we have as you understand, like a franchise partnership with somebody, which eventually we will be. This is where I'm working towards my own accreditation. You know where I mean, I'm coming from this. But we are active now, running courses for security, doorman, and we're also running CP as well. I've got a consultant on board who's ex-police, ex-military. I still currently work as a CP operative myself. I'm still doing CP work, and I'm still working some frontline work. Hopefully, as we go forward, Matt, now I can as the training company will become more my job as I step back from being shouted at, because I'm getting tired of that now.
No, that's fair enough. That's understandable. Okay, well, Tony, it's been absolutely great chatting to you, my friend. Great to catch up, and best of luck with your gym.
Yeah, thank you very much, Matt. It's been a pleasure. And put your links for your books and that on my complete combatives, if you would.
I will do, my friend. I will do. Speak soon. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye bye, Matt. Bye bye.